Hello there, Sorry from 17 once again. This is my Uncharted Drake's Fortune Brutal Difficulty video walkthrough. This is Chapter 19, Unwanted Guests, and we're going to be moving into two identical rooms to press switches before we can get out of this room. And I'm pretty certain at this point that the golem monsters endlessly spawn. I don't know for certain. This is my second time beating the game. I'm by no means an Uncharted 1 expert, but it feels like these creatures can just keep perma-spawning. So be very, very hesitant on killing too many of them and try to run past them. If you get caught reloading, it's really dangerous because you die super fast from these monsters. Additionally, when you're strafing to get around them, they do this weird autocorrect and they keep up with you. They will strafe parallel to you, and then the moment you change direction, they'll try and cut you off then. It's actually pretty clever AI, even though it's just 100% a hard counter. So, get through this room, run into here, kill the dude who always spawns, or run past him, jump up here, be careful, he can kill you while you're mantling as well, that happened to me. And then once you pull the switch, it's going to open the door. But there's no checkpoint until I believe you get through the door. And if you die, you've got to do both switches again. So I'm going to pick up some ammo because I'm a little bit low, having engaged a lot of the monsters. The music here, you know that like tin hammer you can hear? Or whatever it is, that ding? I love that noise. It's one of those noises that's just... it resonates. I must have heard it in the womb and I thought it was, you know, I thought it was God. And I really, really enjoy it. But now I believe you have a checkpoint. But do you see how the lights have come on? The white lights? Whichever the area the light is, that's the way you want to go. That's the way you do the pathfinding here. It's quite a natural way of signposting that isn't too obvious, and I enjoy that. I think it's very clever, very coherent design. It's the kind of thing you don't realise. You're going towards the light because it's dark, so the light symbolises a kind of salvation for you, and it's guiding you through the level, which I think is really nice. But the next room is going to have a bunch of dudes to fight, and this is where I'm going to run out of bullets. So be very careful here, guys. There's a couple guns in this room. You can't do the weapon trick, though, for getting more ammunition, because there's no other gun to swap to. But here they come, so... that was the first hit. Didn't do too much damage, it doesn't seem like. So here we go. He sprints. Oh, there he goes. I do like the transition between blind firing, or hip firing, and aiming down sights. It feels really nice. There's another guy, put him down. He took a lot of bullets. Last 23 bullets in the gun. There's two more dudes in the room. I'm going to try and feather the trigger for the headshots if I can. There's a headshot, and that's it. We're on the pistol now. So there's a guy to my left, I just heard him. There he was. Put him down. Don't put him down, damn. Couple of blind fire hits. Pop him, pepper him. Sprint over here. I think I'm going to run down this corridor because there's a lot of dudes and I don't have any guns. So, once again, could have used all of those bullets a little bit better. I do have 2 grenades, though. That might come in handy. And then this happens. So... I believe if they're able to do that and you do not press the correct button, you will instantly die. Because I've been killed by a grab. I'm not too sure the properties of it, just don't get grabbed. And you'll notice this guy can get some interesting range when he chooses to. So I sprint down here because I don't want to waste the grenades. I know I'm going to need them later on. There's a shining piece of gun, so I'll pick it up. And I think he's the last one. Yeah, there it was. Is that it? Tension. That's it. So it's not too bad, but it can feel kind of hectic when you're in it, I guess. And then you touch the door, and it leads us into another one of these dark corridors. So hopefully there's more ammunition to grab, because we're still a bit low. And I don't really fancy punching my way to victory, even though you know there's one going to jump out here. Is there? No, there's not. Interesting. I love that. I love it when you get those preconceived notions, and then they don't do them. It's a great eye for design. But once you come in here, there's going to be a cutscene, because I believe Elena gets put in a bad spot. I mean, why else would she be here other than to get kidnapped, am I right? And then you're going to get rushed by a bunch of the soldiers, and the soldiers have got shotguns, so be very careful, guys. They kill you insanely quickly. He has a pistol and a helmet, which means he's kind of armoured and a dickhead. So, use your shots wisely, use the cover wisely. Acknowledge that these people are going to take a lot of bullets because they are armoured. So they're the toughest variant, I believe, of the soldiers. And then be careful running too far that way, because that happens. I don't know if you need to do that to trigger him to be there, but that's what I kind of did. So I blind fire the grenade. Can't quite hear if it did anything. Probably didn't. And do you see them? Just there. So I'm going to chuck another grenade. Hey, look at me wasting the grenades after... Oh, that was bad. Why'd I do that? Hey, well. So all I'm doing here is clipping on the top step. Because to them, all they can see is probably Drake's forehead. Whereas I can see their entire torsos and put bullets on them. Which is a tool that will help you in almost every game that has any kind of cover system. Unless they do something actively to get rid of it. Which is what Uncharted 4 did. Which is really interesting because it completely changed the flow of the game. But here's guns at a distance not feeling as strong as you would like them to feel as we push forward. I picked the shotgun up because it's good and immediately slam into cover just in case anybody else is down there. Because once again, there's a lot of corners here, there's a lot of interesting moments where enemies jump out, and there's one of the most unique aspects of video games that doesn't happen enough coming up, which is the idea of enemies fighting each other. So I'm about to say something positive about Final Fantasy 15. The enemies in Final Fantasy 15 attack each other, and it's really cool. It's one of the best parts of that game. I appreciate it a lot. Look at this bullshit. That pipe has got wicked phantom range on its collision. What is it doing? As I snipe the dudes up on the top part. They've got lasers, which means it's going to take them 9 weeks to shoot me back, so you're completely safe when you do that, as long as you're hitting them. If you don't hit them, you'll get killed. And then use your shotgun for the golem monsters. Andy Serkis's little circus here. But in this section, the soldiers will be fighting the monsters, and the monsters will fight the soldiers. However, if you get in the midst of these, they will fight you. Because once again, video games like to pretend that they fight each other, and then the moment the player turns up, they go full bore at your throat. So my recommendation is keep your distance and kill them both. Don't wait for the soldiers to kill the monsters, just get rid of everything. And hopefully you don't get unlucky, because there are moments where you'll see a soldier who is attacking a bunch of the monsters, and the soldier will just spin around and kill you. And he was distracted, and then he saw you, and you apparently are way more tasty than everything else, so he just turns around and kills you. Now be careful here too. A lot of guns, a lot of people shooting, a lot of chaos. The grenades would be a good idea here, Chris. There's 2 on that. There you go. Can it go that far? Throwing grenades in this game, did I mention it's kind of shitty? It's not meant to be the way it works in this game, and they changed that, but it's still kind of super archaic because of the way that it works. It's unfortunate too, you know. I think they did a fine job in adding it. It was a good gesture, but it's not good. It needed work. But here's a snipper, so use your snipper to put a few people down. These guys like to move. The screen watching bitches. Look at him. Look at him! I know you're watching my screen, son. Get the fuck down. There's another achievement for using a gun I barely use. Or a trophy, sorry. Probably triggered somebody saying that. And then through here is probably the toughest sequence in this. Because there is a lot of boxes, there's a lot of soldiers, and there's also a guy on your right over on a balcony who can snipe you. So you want to take it slow, and you want to cover it intelligently. So just look at him. You see how many bullets he just wasted then? And then he got perfect accuracy and killed it. He was doing suppressive fire like he's playing Battlefield 1. And then he turned on his aimbot. So what's this guy? Look, he's doing it again. Shoots, pretends to shoot. Oh, he didn't do his kill shots then. What's he doing? Can I kill him, please? Get out of my face. There you go, son. A couple of bullets down range. But you might be wondering, if you're listening to this, you know, what's coming up on the channel? It's been a little quiet recently. I'm not a big fan of God Hand. Why do you keep giving me God Hand, Chris? Well, God Hand was one of the only projects that I'd got commentated, so that's the reason you saw a lot of that. But once again, I was almost convinced that I was going to really like Final Fantasy 15, so that I was going to cover a lot of it and help you do some things and give some strategies and some tip videos and some cool stuff and make some projects with it. And then I played it, and everything that I feared came true. So there's going to be a little bit of Final Fantasy 15 coming. I've got a tip video to help people alleviate some of the frustrations that game just loves to paste on you. But it's going to be the Last Guardian, it's going to be a little bit of the Let It Die that just got released, which is free to play on PS4. It's really janky, but there could be something cool there, so I'm going to definitely give it a try. There's going to be more Titanfall 2, because that game's amazing. And there's a chance you might be seeing Terra's campaign from Birth by Sleep finally, because we're in December, and I believe, isn't there like a Final Fantasy fucking 1.5 Dream Drop Distance or something about to turn up? and I'm definitely playing that because I haven't played it, and I'm very excited. I like Kingdom Hearts a lot, and that game looks pretty sweet. And then aside from that, there's Yakuza 0 that's going to be coming out in January, and then there's the new releases that carry on from there, and the change to the channel where I'm going to try and focus on making more interesting content rather than just making a walkthrough for games that don't need them. Like, this is a game that needs a walkthrough, I think. I think this is definitely something worth representing because it's a challenge. Like, this particular level is not hard at all because by the time you've got here, you have such a bedrock of confidence and ability in the game that you can dominate this section. You know, the checkpoints are fine, the enemy locations are fine, nothing is going to compare to like that. What was it called now? Was it Shipwrecked, I think it was called, or Plane Wrecked? I forget. That chapter 4 where everything was just really, really brutal. As the name implies, you know, I appreciate it. And I'm hoping that Vanquish is going to come out on PC sometime in like January. That'd be amazing. So that I can finally do a God Hard guide for that and let, you know, YouTube completely rob me of all the money like it did last time. Because that's a game that I'm hungering to play. But I know if I go back to the Xbox One version when I find my copy, I'm going to get really pissed off at the choppiness. Even though that game looks great in 30 frames per second, I want it 60. Like, I want it 144 if I can. I've got a monitor that can do that. I hope it can do that. That'd be wonderful. Does a third-person shooter benefit from 144 frames? I would hope so. 144 hertz. It probably looks beastly. It's definitely something. So here come more golem monsters. Feel free to kill them. See what I mean, though, when I say that the quality of the game kind of dipped? All those levels before this were, you know, there was like the blue castle, there was the green forests, there was the a lot of the courtyards and the roofs and stuff, and the driving the truck through the nice stuff, and lots of interesting colour palettes. And then you come here and it's just grey and brown, grey-brown land. And you might be one of those people that's like, well, those castles, Chris, they were just kind of blue castles, green trees and sky, weren't they? They were, but the green helps. You know, if there was a bunch of trees here, it'd help. Look at The Last of Us. That game looks brown and grey as well, but they put a few trees there, and you just go, ooh, there's a nice pretty tree. It helps. That's the joy of artistry and colour method and balancing of the assets. You stick something cool in there, it looks awesome. Look at Angel City. Why is the cherry blossom trees there? I don't know, but I like them. Thank you for watching. You take care now.